Kody, did you know? I'm going to drop some knowledge bomb on you.
Okay.
Something's going to blow your mind.
I like that.
It's about Abraham Lincoln.
The 15th president of the United States.
I think so.
Is he the 15th anyway?
I guess. He got shot in the back by John Wilkes Booth. I know that.
I think he got shot in the back of the head.
All this and more on episode 182 of the Dan and Kody podcast.
This is the Dan and Kody podcast.
This is it. Right here, Kody. You put on those headphones and you go to work.
Why are you yelling?
This is where our message is heard. It's time to get hyped. Say it with me.
What are we saying?
Dan and Kody.
Dan and Kody.
Dan and Kody.
We Dan and Kody podcast.
Dan and Kody podcast.
Dan and Kody podcast.
Get some.
Dan and Kody podcast.
Ooh.
All right.
So,
Abraham Lincoln. Guess what he's never, ever done in his entire life?
Make it to the age of 60. I don't know what.
Abraham Lincoln's never seen a movie, dog. Can you believe it? that man, that smart man, that president of the United States.
He never saw a movie.
Never saw a picture in motion. A sequence of images moving at rapid pace. Never seen it.
Okay.
Doesn't that just rock your world?
For most people, it might. For me,
No.
no. And the only reason I say that is because I went to this Abraham Lincoln Museum.
Yeah.
And in the museum, they said that there's only like 15 pictures of Abraham Lincoln.
That's it.
Like photos.
And damn.
Now, I'm not talking painting. Abraham Lincoln was only photographed a small number of times because the camera wasn't really in place.
15 photos.
See, you should look it up. The number of
Over
photos.
130.
130. Okay, so I'm dead wrong. 130 known photographs of
You
Lincoln.
got more photos than my grandma.
Ever?
Probably.
Really?
I mean, cameras are expensive.
Not more photos than you at this point.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Not more photos than me.
Not on my worst day.
Wow.
Dude, does anyone alive know what Abraham Lincoln sounded like? Is there audio?
No.
Like, we have no idea what that guy's voice sounds like.
No, we don't. What was the first audio? Who was the first president to be recorded?
I don't know, but isn't that crazy? Like, George Washington could sound like this. Hi, guys, let's go to war. Let's fight a revolution. I will lead you. I will lead you across the sea.
Apparently, I don't know if that's really the case.
We don't know how any of these guys sound. That blows my mind.
There was this old phonograph that was used to record Mark Twain.
Mm.
And Mark Twain was in there, and it's like you'd never heard Mark Twain's voice. I mean,
right.
I don't know if that's true because I think Mark Twain died in like 1900, but Samuel Clemens.
Everyone imitates Lincoln as like this deep-voiced, like,
407 years ago,
Right.
Abraham Lincoln delivered an address.
And this is the way it is.
no one knows what Ben Franklin sounded like.
Right. Apparently, Lincoln died 12 years before Thomas Edison invented the phonograph.
So this man's never seen a movie. We've never heard his voice.
No.
We don't know shit about these guys.
Think about this.
We don't know shit about these guys.
The only way you could experience music, movies, is if you saw them live.
Yeah. He's seen live theater for sure.
Well, of course. Theater's been around for 1,000 years.
The theater. Yeah.
No, but like that's crazy. Imagine if you woke up, like how often do you listen to music?
Every day. Every single day.
What do you listen to music? Imagine running.
Oh, no.
Right?
Absolutely not.
I mean, these guys weren't running back then.
Yeah, was exercise even invented
no,
then?
exercise wasn't even exercise. Yeah, it's called living. survival
like
is exercise.
chopping wood,
Yeah.
like doing
That's
living
what, there's no
things.
cars. You have to like walk everywhere or ride a horse. I was watching The Brothers Sisters. Have you seen this?
No.
It's got what's his name, Phoenix, and John C. Reilly.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Is his name
Oh,
Joaquin?
Joaquin.
Yeah. So they're like brothers, and they're hired hitmen,
Right.
and they're around during the gold rush period, and they are from Oregon City or something like that, and their boss is the Commodore who's paying them to kill this guy. They don't know who the guy is. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal, they have to meet him. Anyway, it's to get all of that garbage out of the way. One of their horses is sick, and it's his like horse, like John C. Reilly's like personal horse.
Shoot it.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got to kill this horse. He's going to put down the horse.
And not only back then, like your horse isn't just your horse, like that's your pet, and it's also your car.
Yeah, you rely heavily on this animal to
Yeah.
survive,
Like my car broke down.
and it's such a sweet, tender thing to think like you have to take care of this animal as much as it has to take care of you. There's this weird symbiotic relationship between a man and his horse, and we don't have anything like that anymore.
The car.
The car isn't the same because you can't have
People love their cars.
people love their
They
cars.
name them. They wash. I
But
have
if
a
you
neighbor.
but if you break somebody's car, you don't get shot.
Sure you do.
No, you don't.
It's called road rage.
No, not that way. I'm talking about like there's no law. If you stole a man's horse or you kill a man's horse, you could be hung back then for it.
Yeah.
It's like it's not the same.
Well, if you blatantly like destroy a person's car, you go to jail for sure.
So
100%.
you go to jail, no big deal. But nobody's going to kill you for it
Right.
because their livelihood is so connected to their horse.
Yeah.
Now, if the rules changed
Well,
and you're an Uber driver and you destroy that Uber driver's car, then I guess,
Or somebody burnt down your house, you'd go to jail for quite a long time.
somebody died in that house,
Murder. You're going down.
especially if it was murder,
For sure.
right?
How do we get here? Where are we going?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Dude, but Lincoln,
Lincoln.
I wonder if they can, how like we can sort of tell that like dinosaurs were birds and maybe had feathers. I wonder if by drawings of Lincoln, if they can like sort of estimate the sound of his voice.
Like in
You could do that,
was it
right?
Jurassic Park 3 where they had the laser printed voice of the Velociraptor, and he like
Yeah.
blows and it goes, and that's the sound of a Velociraptor.
Right. Yeah, like
Come on.
like from drawings, could you sort of like get the landscape of Lincoln's like throat and like
And recreate it.
and like diaphragm and see and figure out like just by the shape of his mouth or like something like that, like figure
I think
out
that's interesting. Are you able to recreate somebody's voice? I think that would be a crazy cool thing to do. But you'd have
Yeah.
to, I think the hard part would be you need, because
like if
vocal cords aren't bones.
like you know how you could hear somebody's being fat?
What?
Like you could hear fatness.
I would be careful where you're walking here, Dan.
You can. Like Biggie Smalls sounds fat. You like if no one seriously, I'll put this to the test right now.
Okay.
Hopefully there's someone out there, someone listening to the Dan and Kody podcast. If you've never seen the Notorious B.I.G.,
Okay.
aside from his name being B.I.G.,
Okay.
tell me that man doesn't sound fat. Fat Joe sounds fat.
Okay. Who sounds fat?
You can hear it.
Who is fat that doesn't sound fat?
Who's fat that doesn't sound fat?
Yeah.
I don't know. None.
No, that's not true. Come on.
They all do. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Adele?
Adele's not fat, man.
Adele was so fat.
No, she wasn't.
She was, no, I mean, I don't mean Adele was so fat, like
Just so you
excessively
guys
fat.
know, we're going down the pathway of just saying who's fat and who's not now. We're just doing that.
Hey, We're 180 deep. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
we can do what we want.
Absolutely. None of us have jobs or careers.
No, absolutely.
I don't anyway, and I probably won't now ever.
There's nothing wrong with being fat. I'm overweight. I'm just saying that you can sound very heavy. Come on. Remember Gilbert Grape, the mom?
Yeah.
If you never saw her and closed your eyes, you could be like, yeah, I think she might be fat.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I mean,
You
yeah.
can hear like I don't know, it's something.
So Dan, just so we know, if Lincoln was fat, we'd know it.
Somebody call me. I'll let you know if you have a problem or not. Based on the voice.
This is terrible. I do not condone.
How is this terrible?
This is terrible. It just feels wrong, Dan.
It's a fact of life.
What's a fact of life? That if you're
Being
fat,
heavy.
you sound fat?
Yeah. In the voice, in like the I'm sure they could depict that of Lincoln or like there's audio of like Roosevelt, right? Was he the fattest president?
Taft was the fattest president.
Taft was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a goal or something.
Roosevelt was like in a wheelchair, man.
Yes, I assumed he had like problems.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, man.
Wow.
What are we all here for?
Who knows? But that's the way it goes. Lincoln never, ever saw a movie.
Ever. Man, oh man.
That was painful.
Needed that swipe, huh?
Yeah, we did. Somebody save us. My God.
Dude.
Anyway, what's going on?
So me and Jenny and Moxie, we went to the Santa Clarita like songs in the park.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
we did this about 3 months ago, where we went
Yeah.
and saw
Cover
Spice
band.
Girls.
Yeah, Spice Girls cover band. If you don't live in Santa Clarita, you're really missing out. It's a great place to live. One of the top 5 places to raise a family in California. That's a fact. That was written in an article on the news.
Which news, Dan?
The news.
Oh, the
one of the newses.
yeah, traditional news. Okay.
One of the very reputable newses.
Okay, right.
But so they put on these big concerts. Like a lot of people come. They bring their families. They bring food. They bring tents. And then the cover band comes on. Prince. The last one of the season was Prince.
Okay, great. Is it always a cover band?
Yeah, it's always a cover band.
It's always a cover band. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This guy was good. This guy was great. But this is not where my story is going.
Okay.
There's a playground right there, right? By the park.
Right.
Moxie loves playgrounds, so we had to go to the playground. This playground, it's got like 7 slides,
Right.
monkey bars,
Right.
jungle gyms, sand, wall to wall sand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
Cats and children's dreams.
bro, this fucking playground was mobbed with kids. It ranging from I want to say 12 to 2.
Okay. A lot of
All right.
kids, huh?
Crazy going on.
Right.
Just pandemonium.
Right.
Parents sort of in a ring.
They've created a gate around the
Right.
part the around the sand, if
Right.
you will.
I want to really hammer in that if you didn't know where your kid was and if you knew where your kid was, turned around for a second, said hello to someone, you'd have no idea where your fucking
Kid's
kid
lost.
was. Not lost, but you'd be
Your
in a
kid
panic.
your kid would be stolen.
You'd be in a panic where's Moxie? Where's my kid?
This is the perfect environment to steal a child.
100%.
The chaos of everybody
Easy.
stealing kids.
Kid stealer would clean up at this park.
Okay, good to know.
They would get away with that.
He'd go out
half
to
of
the
them.
car. He'd take one kid, take it
Right.
to the car. Put some tape over its mouth, tie up its hands, put it in the trunk.
Gone.
Go back, grab
Yeah.
another kid.
Yeah.
It's like 31
Like,
flavors for
this-
kid stealers.
This kid stealer would call other kid stealers and be like, "Dude, you gotta get over here. It is so easy
This
right
is
now."
where you are. This is where the kid thieves hang out,
Right.
as well as parents and their children.
Yeah, it's their dream right now.
Nice.
But anyway, so Moxie's running around.
Right.
She took her shoes off. She's climbing in this thing. It is wall to wall action.
Okay.
Ah!
Yeah.
Just craziness. The older children are mistreating the slide. It's a little spiral slide that goes down. They're throwing sand on it.
Yep.
They're not even going down it.
They
They're
don't care.
they're leaping off of it and not actually going down the full slide. They're
Okay.
like going to off the side, hanging off, falling. 4 of them are going down this slide. They're cutting Moxie. Moxie's waiting her turn to like get on this fucking slide.
Right.
She's being good. She knows to wait. Because Moxie's bigger than a lot of the kids her age. She's taller.
Right.
She's way more athletic, I feel, and like she's able to do more things. So we as parents are always weary of that, and we're like, Moxie, relax, wait your turn,
Right.
be generous, be graceful.
It's like having Superman for his son.
Yeah.
Because, and I say this like this, if you got Superman for a kid and you tell him to go out and play sports, he's going to destroy all these kids. You got to say, you got to hold it back, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to know you're Superman at that point.
We kind of do that, I guess.
Right.
Like we're more conscious of her
Moxie is
messing
Superman.
up somebody else than someone messing her up.
Absolutely.
Except in this situation. All these kids are bigger than her. They're cutting her. They're butting in front of her, and we've instilled this like you take the back seat basically, and she was doing that, and then I'm sitting there with Jenny, and I'm like, come on, girl, like we're watching her, like you gotta pick your moment, like it's your turn, get on that slide, don't let that fucking kid push you out of the way, don't let him cut you, and she finally got it, but there was something in me, Kody, that I wanted to beat the shit out of like 7 kids there.
Wow.
Like, I wanted to walk over and be like, hey, this is not your fucking turn, all right? My kid's right over here. She's going down the slide. Like, it was burning in me. Like,
Interesting.
I was talking to Jenny. I was like, I'm getting anxiety. Where are these kids' parents? They're like, mistreating the slide. They're, like, pushing. Like, why can't I be that parent? Why can't I be the parent who doesn't give a fuck?
Is it that you're feeling that Moxie is being taken advantage of?
Yes.
And that's the underlying thing. It's not that these kids are.
They're moving her out of the way.
So how do you work that with Moxie moving forward?
I don't know.
I think I have an idea.
She needs some more.
I think it's more of this. You role play with her, and you'd be like, if kids do this to you, stop them with your hand. Don't be mean. Don't grab. Don't punch. Don't pull. Put your hand out and be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Yeah, we've told her. That's the other thing, too. It's this whole share culture.
Right.
Which is fine. Like, yes, kids should share.
Everybody's going to be share. You know what, man? Teach your kid to take.
And that was the other thing I was thinking, too. I was like, look, I'm so weary of Moxie being bullied. Like, that was a situation where I was like, oh, my God, if this happens to her at school, if someone pushes her, she comes home and tells me that somebody pushed her.
Right.
Like, I want to go to that school. I'm going to slap that child.
Right.
Or yell at that teacher. Yell at that parent. But I was like joking with Jenny. I was like, we got to teach her to be the bully, because then we don't have to deal with this crap. With this
nope, you
nonsense.
just have to deal with all the soft parents.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, your kid never learned how to stick up for themselves.
Well, and
What's the rule there, Dan?
She towards it. She like the last time we went there,
right?
A kid was like, she was climbing up a ladder, and a kid was like trying to like keep her from going up the ladder.
Yes.
With his foot.
Okay.
And like we like watched that, and we were like, okay, Moxie, wait till this asshole kid goes up.
Right.
This time, somebody was like trying to like blocking the way of the ladder, and Moxie was going up the ladder, and I walked up and I was like, excuse me, Moxie, she needs to go up this ladder now. Can she go up this ladder, please, to this little kid? And then he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're 36
off.
years old, Dan. Of course he's going to say, yeah, excuse me.
But and then there was like a 2-year-old throwing sand at this other like 2-year-old.
Moxie's gonna start throwing rocks.
No, they were just like throwing sand on each other, like playing. And then I see this dad like zoom in, and he's like, he like looks at not his kid, and he's like, no, what are you doing? And then he picks up his kid, and they leave.
Interesting.
Like it's chaos, and I'm wondering like, where are the parents? Where's the parent of the kid who's jumping off the slide, not allowing and like cutting kids? If Moxie was doing that, I would go up to her and I'd be like, Moxie, that's not how you use the slide, and you need to allow these other kids a turn, or we're leaving. That's what I would do.
You're not setting up a nature scenario here, huh?
I'm not just like, fuck it.
You're not saying like, let's let her find her place.
We did.
In the society, these kids.
We let her. She started.
She just happened to be bigger and stronger than all of them, and she made herself queen of all the little people.
She found her way. She started using a different slide, and she ended up going down a slide that some kid was like trying to run up, and then that kid moved out of Moxie's way, and I was like, good, this is progress. He's not using the slide correctly. Moxie's going down. She has the right of way, but this is an anxious space for Dan.
Not just you. I imagine all of those parents standing around there looking at it, afraid that there's a kid thief waiting.
Yeah. The first anxiety is kid thief.
Yep.
Second is you don't want your kid being mean to other kids.
No.
And then you don't want other kids being mean to your kid.
No.
So you're in this constant. I'm in a constant state of like defense of Moxie and defense of others.
Interesting.
But I feel like a lot of the other parents are just like, fuck it. I'm chilling. Let my kid do whatever the hell they want, because that's how they're getting away with doing all this bullshit.
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, there's a lesson there for you.
Should I relax more?
I have no idea, man. Do whatever you want. How do I know?
What would you do? I don't know.
I'm kind of a nature guy. I think there's something to be said about saying, hey, finding your place in a group and realizing like you want to treat people with respect, and I think you have to teach those lessons.
Yeah.
But in that specific scenario, I think there's something about saying, hey, even in that moment, I mean, I don't know if you push a kid, but I would definitely be like, hey, come here. Let me tell you something. If somebody keeps getting in your way, and you let a couple of them go, and you keep happening, stop whoever keeps pushing you out of the way, and put your hand to the side. I mean, I don't know what a kid's gonna take. Like Moxie's 3. I don't know what she's taking in. I know she's throwing rocks at kids at dance class. Simulating or throwing rocks at kids. Right.
I guess she was finally small fish.
Right.
In the big pond.
Right.
And I didn't know how to handle it. She's
maybe
it's the big fish.
Maybe it's take them aside for a minute and have a conversation. But I don't know. I think maybe I would take them aside to have a convo.
But I don't think she would even understand.
I don't know if she would understand either, but that's not the point. I think it's more of like she has to hear it and then be in the moment and like process what you're saying to her while she's in it.
Yeah.
There is actions. It's like you read a book all day.
Right.
Say you're reading a book on how to build cabinets. Okay, cool. I'm reading this book on how to build cabinets. You close the book, you never look at it again. Mm-hmm. But you read a book on cabinets, and the next day you go out and you start building a cabinet. The shit you read in that book works because there's the learning portion and then there's the application portion, and she's got to be able to apply it.
Yeah.
So
the thing you said about this whole sharing thing,
right?
Get ready for this. This is the shit I hate. When like say Fitz brings a toy to a party and there's a bunch of different kids there.
Right.
It's Fitz's favorite toy.
Right.
Some people would argue that toy that Fitz has brought is immediately in this share pool of toys.
Interesting.
So like if Fitz picks up a different toy, then his toy is now available for the whole share thing.
Okay, I get it.
I don't like that because I feel like the child should be able to like unsubscribe. So like if Moxie has a doll and it's her doll and she doesn't want to play with anybody else, any other toys, she doesn't have to share that toy.
But she wants to play with everybody else's toys?
No. If she doesn't. Like a kid comes up to her and is like, you need to share. Time to share. My turn. Like it's all this turn and share culture. But like if she's out of the turns, she doesn't want to do turns. It's her toy.
Right.
She should be allowed to keep her toy, but be separate from this whole like turn and pool of
I hear
toys.
what you're saying, but you want to instill her. Like here's the second point of that. You're in that scenario. You want to encourage group
play.
activity.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
by letting her have her toy and sit in the corner and play with just her toy and nobody else, you're hindering her ability to go group think it, right?
Right. But yeah, like you say, yes, absolutely. That prohibits her from like developing into like group play.
And that's the other thing too. It's like if you're bringing a toy to a group scenario, you don't want anybody else to play with, like especially when you're that age.
You shouldn't bring it.
Maybe you shouldn't take that your favorite toy.
Right.
It's like, let's translate that to adulthood, right? Oh, I'm going to take this really expensive collectible that I have, and I'm going to take it to this public space.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit it down on the counter, and I'm going to turn away. And if it disappears, oops.
Well, I don't know if that works perfectly.
How doesn't it work?
Because
it's more of an adult, real-world situation.
I mean, as an adult, you're aware of the fact that, sure, if I put this down,
yes, but it's your most.
Someone might touch it.
Absolutely.
The chances of someone touching it are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a toy.
Right, but
I'm not saying a toy. I'm translating it to something that actually has value and is important to you.
Right.
Because I can't say a toy to you because it doesn't make sense. Anyway.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, you could a Funko.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do, kid? Be tough, Mox. Respectful. Be respectful. Strong.
Yeah.
And
fight.
And empathetic. And you know what? Sharon's for pussies.
I want her to fight somebody.
Sharon's for pussies. Dude, Madeline and I, we're locked up in this cave of our house with the babe.
Yeah, man.
As you're aware.
You guys
we get out.
Back.
We get out. We go. We'll have lunch, and we'll visit family, have conversations with people. But we have been watching so much television. I can't because of the baby. I can only watch TV, and then I have to focus on the baby, and I can't really focus on anything else because my attention has to move between two things so quickly. So I can't focus on some other things that I'd like to do, right?
Right.
I didn't realize that was going to be the case, but that's the reality of having a child. Nonetheless, Madeline and I have been watching this terrible, terrible reality show.
What is it?
And it is called
90 Day Fiance.
No, Tiny Houses.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking about this a little earlier, and I figured, you know what? You and I need to have a conversation about this where I can be a little more open because I was in the middle of taking care of the babe when you had this conversation.
Dude, this show is amazing.
It's on. They have it on Netflix. I don't know if it was on HGTV. I don't know what it is, but I got to be honest. Whoever wants to own a tiny house is a psychopath.
You're insane.
It's a psychopath.
No.
What? Who wants to own a tiny house in your head, Dan?
Dan Hill wants to own a tiny house.
Madeline and I were watching it, and I even said to her, I'm like, this is something fucking Dan would want right here.
Because remember last 4th of July, I made us all watch Container Homes.
Container Homes. And Madeline actually said that. She's like, no, Dan's into container homes. I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. He would live in something that was 200 square feet, and he would like pee against the wall and then lay right next to it. Like he'd be okay with that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm fascinated by modern living spaces that are not houses.
Come on, man. That's called a tent, brother.
Like,
and let me tell you.
And I'm not a camping person,
dude,
but this shit is fascinating.
Why would somebody want this? And these are the only reasons I can think of. Either something as a child, something like happened to their clubhouse. It was burned down when they were a kid, or their clubhouse never came to fruition, and now they're adults, and they're leaning on that idea of childhood identity, and they can't let go. Because
you think it's a deep issue stemming from childhood?
No.
All of these people?
I actually, honestly, truthfully, I think it's a nature issue. I think we have this desire to hole up in a cave, a tiny cave, keep it tight so we feel safe. It's like what we do with babies when we swaddle a baby. That's what this is. It's swaddling yourself in a house. It only works for a while until you want to break your arms out of that swaddle.
Yeah.
That's what it's like with these tiny houses, man.
I think it's here's my thing with it. I think that it's a great solution. It's a larger version of when you're in your house, when you're in your room, and it's very messy, and you start stirring in that mess, and you get anxious enough, and you build up this thing, and you're like, I got to get rid of some stuff, and then you go through like a big overhaul.
You purge.
It happens to a lot of us. Happens to me a lot too. Like, because I'm heavy. I'm a heavy consumer.
You like stuff.
I love stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
But I do go through a phase of like, this is a lot of this. I gotta trim a lot of this shit. I gotta cut. Like, I'll throw away like 50 shirts. Doesn't happen a lot.
Wow.
But it does happen. I threw out a ton of shoes a couple months ago.
Okay.
But and this it's like that on a larger scale. These people and the nature part, yes, like they're in. It's for like I feel like it's for people who can't commit to one place because these are all mobile.
Yeah.
But they also want to live in style. The style of these things, you have to admit, and like,
don't get me wrong. There's some that I'm like, yeah, I would fucking love that house.
They're so inventive.
If I was 6.
Is that a word?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They take advantage of the space really well. Like, they're able to maximize the space. And it's
Right.
impressive. These designers of these places, they know how to build cubbies and they know how to make things go into the wall and disappear. And that's impressive. And don't get me wrong. I'm really enamored with it. Like, that's why we watched it, is because it's amazing. But at the same time, you're a nut job if you want to live in one of these houses.
I don't know, man.
To think that you would spend $20,000 to $100,000 on these, and then you want to know where they end up? In a trailer park. And then you're the bougie motherfucker that's living in this like double-decker trailer.
You pulling up in the hotness at the trailer park.
Like, nobody's interested in seeing that. People are offended by that.
But I think that a lot of people use these because they own property, and they're putting this on that property.
Maybe.
Or they're going to like there's a trailer park, and there's like a camper parks. I feel like there's a difference. Okay. Am I wrong?
Camper parks? I don't know.
Like when people go camping in campers, like
Right.
they're on the road, you know? Those
Right.
seem different than like a stationary trailer park. Am I wrong in thinking that?
I mean, I guess if it's like a camper.
Yeah, like if you were driving to El Paso.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
these aren't built like your traditional campers. You got siding on these things. Wooden siding. Like this isn't these are things that are meant to kind of be locked down even though they're meant to move.
Like you'd be worried that
yeah.
when you're driving it, like a rock hits your freaking stained glass window.
Absolutely. And just so you know, like there is, what is it? There's a website for those of you out there that want to see if you can buy your own tiny house. It's called tinyhouselistings.com.
For real?
And you can see all of the tiny homes that are for sale across the country.
How much is one?
Any of them, like I said, $220,000 to $100,000.
$100,000 is too much.
Well,
That's like a house a lot of places.
Yeah. But, for the most part, these are, contemporary tiny homes, a.k.a. trailers,
And
which
then
is
what?
fine. If you live in a trailer, that's cool. But some of these people are trying to put 4 people in these things.
And I don't know a lot about like home ownership because I don't have a home. So you got to help me out. But so all you need in these things is like you could generate it, right? You could buy your own generator and run it, right?
Sure. But a lot of the time, like when you buy a tiny house and you park in a what do you call it? You buy a tiny house and you park in a trailer park.
Yeah.
There's power hookups. There's power and water and sewer a lot of the time.
So you would just hook up to
You
their
hook up
shit?
to it and then it runs into it and you pay a service fee and something like that.
And if you bought a plot of land
Right?
and wanted to put this thing on it,
Right?
you could just hook up like that, right?
Well,
Like
you
gas?
you could if you have a gas line that runs out there, if you have a power box that runs out there, if you have a what do you call it? A sewer line that runs out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't have those things, somebody's got to come and fill that up or empty it.
Right.
It's like when you buy a camper and you shit in it, you go out to the woods, You got to take that shit. You got to take that camper somewhere to let out all of the waste.
Otherwise, it's just
Like my brother's got fifth wheel campers, right? It's basically the same idea. They take them, they fill them up with fresh water and clean water. They go out, they go camping, they go hunting. They have water in there. They run the water to shower. They run the water to clean dishes. Use the toilet.
How much water is an average shower? Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that.
Probably like 3 gallons. I would guess 3 gallons.
I think it's probably more than that. I know it's more than that for me because I'm a fucking waster of water, man.
You're like a 40-minute shower.
I love my showers. Here we go. On average, this is according to homewaterworks.org. On average, showers are typically the third largest water use after toilets and clothes washers. The average American shower uses 17.2 gallons.
17 gallons?
Yes.
That's so much.
And lasts for 8.2 minutes at an average flow rate of 2.1 gallons per minute.
8 minutes?
No. Yes, 8 minutes. Because if you're looking at you use 2.1 gallons of water a minute.
2.1 gallons of water a minute.
Yes.
Holy shit. I got to take shorter showers.
Yeah, me too. Big time.
That's eye-opening right there.
Big eye-opening. So for all you crazy guys out there taking super long showers like myself, you know, that's a little crazy.
Don't touch that baby.
See, I got to watch yourselves, you guys. Be careful.
And now I'm thinking about like I'm just like chilling in there.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Like, oh, did I wash that? Well, should do it again.
Doesn't matter.
Try it again.
Yeah.
But I'm never in the shower doing nothing. I'm always like scrubbing or lathering.
No, you know what? My wife will tell you this is the case. I love the sound. Sorry. I love the sound of a shower. I love the sound of it. I sit on the toilet. Just enjoy it.
You sit on the toilet with the shower running?
I love it.
Oh, my God. I do the same shit, though.
Yeah, exactly. I love the sound of the shower.
Back in the day.
I always think it takes longer for the shower to heat up than it actually does. I'm waiting on it to heat up.
Back in the day, I'd be like, all right, Jenny, I got to take a shower. And I would go upstairs, I'd turn the shower on, and then I'd just fuck around on my phone for a minute. And then she'd come up and she'd be like, Dan, you haven't gotten in the shower yet? It's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, Madeline says the same stuff to me, too.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's no big deal. What are you going to do?
We're in a drought.
We're in a drought, exactly. And then you're wondering why we're not saving any water out here in this world.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
But, like, I want a tiny home in addition to a house.
What?
Because I want a camper, basically.
Okay.
But I want something more substantial and more, like, designable, you know? I think that's what's really cool about it is that.
What do you mean by designable?
Like you don't just buy you just buy a camper basically, and it's like ready to go. I want something that's very like customizable and like more sort of permanent. Like you have like display area and like a better TV area. Like the first episode or whatever, they had a living room in there. They had like 2 couches, a fireplace. That was fucking dope.
Right.
They had a staircase. Like there's no staircase in a camper.
Yes, there are.
Really?
Yes. Fifth wheels have to go up. There's stairs that take you up to them. Not a lot of stairs. My brother has a camper where it's like this. Stair, shower, stairs, master.
Cool. I don't like when there's like the stairs going up to like a loft sort of bed, and then that ceiling is real short.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'd wake up and like bust my head on the roof because it's so low.
Yeah.
You know?
I could see why that would be the case.
I'm not interested in that. And there's other shit though. There's like they sell like a sort of man cave on Amazon. For like $8,000, you can just get it delivered to your backyard.
A man cave?
They call it like it's sort of like a garden thing too. Like you can make it like a greenhouse basically, or you can design it like a man cave. But I'm pretty sure you just buy it on Amazon. It's like Prime eligible, and you just 8G. It's fucking yours. They just bring that shit.
What?
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
trying to see if I can find this damn
And
thing.
they were targeting ads for that to me. They are smart as
They
hell.
know you too well.
They are smart. I
Man.
get Funko ads, sneakers, graphic tees.
What was it? Was it called Man Cave?
No, it was look up like Amazon like container delivered to your house or something like
Amazon container?
that. Yeah.
Just type it. No, I'm in Amazon right now.
It's like
It's like a container. Okay, so we're just kind of searching for it here. Container, like a living space container?
yeah.
Living container. Man, I'm not seeing it.
Google Amazon container home.
Oh, container home. Why not just type in container home? Container home. Container home for sale on Amazon.
Yeah.
Shipping containers.
Duramax. Flat roof insulated 13 by 10, $4,000.
Duramax container. Wow.
You just get that.
So let's see this thing. You got this up here, Dan?
Yeah.
4x6 resin backyard garden storage. That's what I found. That's crazy.
That shit is on Prime.
That's insane.
That is Amazon Prime right there. But it's cool because, you get that, throw it in your backyard, there, boom. Mount a TV in there, put some Funkos in there, boom.
Ready to go.
You're good.
No big deal.
Dude, your back house, we're not utilizing that well.
No, but what's funny is that back house,
Yeah.
it's 280 square feet. It's
It's
a little
great.
bigger than a tiny house.
It's great.
And that I'm not utilizing the space that well.
Let's make that like a recording studio.
No, I
But
mean, it's a guest house at the moment.
Yeah, you got guests. Do guests sleep out there?
Yeah, my brother slept out there. My what do you call it? Yeah.
Well, we could convert it back when there's guests.
Yeah. Wow. You can actually look up, it's $65,000 on Amazon, and it's a 1,300 square foot cabin kit.
Cabin kit.
They used to do this with Sears. Did you know that?
No.
Sears catalogs. Back at the turn of the century, of last century, you could go on a Sears catalog, you can order a house, and it was a house kit.
Really?
And then you'd be able to build the kit.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's how you'd have these self-build your home, and then they'd send you the kit, and you'd build your house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video about the houses that they can 3D print?
No, what's this on?
There's just these 3D printed houses. They're circular pueblos.
Really?
Basically. Yeah, they're dope. Real dope.
Yeah. Pueblos, huh? That's cool. Huh.
3D printed home.
3D printed home. Well, the other crazy thing with these tiny houses is they say they're meant to be movable like you were talking about earlier, but these are meant to be built and just stand there.
And sit there, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of a disappointing thing. And there's some cool things about it. It's funny because when I was a kid, my uncle built a tiny home, essentially. It had a foundation. It was a playhouse that he built for his daughter. But it had a second level. It had stairs that went up into it, and it was probably 100 square feet. It was probably 10 by 10.
That's awesome.
And it was probably 15 feet tall, 12 feet tall.
That's all a Dan really needs.
Maybe it was even 10 feet tall. Maybe it was 10 by 10 by 10. Anyway, it's crazy. Had a what do you call it? Had a high angle roof, and we used to hang out there when we were kids. But then the bees got in there.
Oh, really?
The bees and the spiders.
Oh,
the
no.
flies. And then it got so hot in there in the summer you couldn't play in there because it was just too damn hot.
Here it is.
What do you got?
This is the one.
What is it?
It's the smallest.
Pre-built.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
It's $3,600. It's on Amazon, and you've got a front door, you got a porch, you got a little AC unit in there. It's ready to go. It's perfect for long couch, mount the TV, Like, that's like your escape room, you know?
Sure.
Just like kick it room.
Yeah. When your bathroom isn't big enough to masturbate, build your own small, tiny house.
Just throw
Where you
this.
can spend all your afternoons masturbating.
No, I'm saying, just like throw it in the backyard and have people over and be like, oh, yeah, come on, guys.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Come
let's
on
go.
over.
Let's go play my like arcade. You know, it's amazing.
Oh, that is amazing. You're absolutely right. Wow.
Yeah.
And in regards to those Sears Roebuck houses, there's a house in Venice
Yeah.
that was built off of the Sears Roebuck model in 1923.
Mm-hmm.
And now that house is selling in Venice for $3 million.
Oh, dear Jesus.
Yep. Think about that little number for you.
Wow.
I don't know how old this article is, but that's really funny. How old is this article? Oh, 2014.
Damn.
Anyway.
Tiny homes, baby.
Tiny homes. Go get it.
Kody.
Yeah, buddy.
I was driving with Jenny in the car,
Oh, that's good.
and we saw something that we typically see one of these cars like every 2 or 3 months. But it's a car, and the back of it has a decal. All right?
Okay.
And it'll say like, in loving memory of Nigel, or insert name. Let's just call this person Nigel.
So like it's one specific person that you're seeing.
Any like insert name here. But
Okay.
like we've seen several cars that say like, in loving memory of Jane.
Okay.
In loving memory of Pedro.
Okay.
Me and Jenny were trying to figure this out.
Okay.
So assuming a family member of the driver has passed away,
Okay.
is the car in loving memory of Nigel? Like, did Nigel die and they got a bunch of money and then bought the car and that's why the sticker is on there? Or are they just saying, I'm loving I want people to remember Nigel?
So you're asking the question, is the car in honor of the dead person, or are they just thinking about the dead person?
Yes.
Okay.
I like to think like, okay, this car is a tribute to Nigel.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Like
You like to think that? That's a terrible tribute.
well, cause like what else do you do? Like
What do you mean?
you write it on a tree, like in loving memory. Like we planted a tree for Mom. You know?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, in loving memory of Mom.
in loving memory of Mom. Yeah, a tree makes sense. It's a living organism.
So
What is a car?
I don't know, but they all have this sticker. Like, why do so many people want to put the deceased name in loving memory on the back of the car? They want me to read it.
Well, what if I was to throw it this way? What if the sticker is what's in loving memory?
Is it? Could
Probably more likely that's the case than any of the other options.
it's so weird. Like that's
The
your
sticker
tribute.
is in loving memory. It's the same idea like with the tattoo.
right.
In loving memory of Mom.
Right, but it's like, yeah, I got this.
I got
for
this
my mom.
tattoo, so I got this sticker.
So you tattooed your car.
I got this sticker for my card. This is for Jerry.
This is how I grieve for Nigel.
That's right. That's right. In your memory.
Nigel would have wanted me to put a sticker on the back of my windshield.
He was known. Like there's a lot of people out in the world that just love it when you put stickers on your vehicles. But there's also a lot of people in the world that think it's super douchey.
Right. I mean,
So-
we're talking about Nigel right now.
Absolutely. And in loving his memory.
R.I.P. Nigel.
R.I.P. buddy.
So you think that the physical decal is in memory of
Yes,
them?
absolutely. The physical decal is in loving. Because I'll tell you what, that Kia Sorrento isn't exactly screaming Nigel to me, okay?
I really think that there's more to it. I think like they inherited money, bought the car, and they're remembering Nigel because of the funds they got off of his death, used it for the car.
Wow. You think that's the case? Huh?
That's the story I wrote in
You're
my head.
rounding it out, huh?
Yeah.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
It's like, thanks, Nigel. Thanks for the whip. Everybody knows this
I
whip
would-
came from you.
I would highly doubt that's the case.
Or is it Nigel's whip? Is it actually Nigel's car? Because that's a sticker.
I don't doubt there's certain scenarios where you're likely seeing that was the outcome, and that's why they have the sticker on the car.
That was his car.
But I think for the majority of it, it's, hey, you're on my mind, and I'm thinking
and
about
I'm
you.
putting it on my whip.
That's exactly right. I'm putting it on my whip.
That, and man, this podcast keeps coming back to like cars and what we do with them and how we.
It does?
Yeah, like with the horse. The horse is like your car.
No, the horse isn't like a car. You kept saying that. I kept saying it was nonsense.
You're saying that horses are not like cars?
No, they're not like cars. They're living, breathing creatures. They're organisms. It's the same reason you said tree, and I said a tree is not like a car.
Kody, the power of car is literally measured in horses. Like they are fucking like very comparable
That's
to horses.
cool that they're using cars to measure. They're using horses to measure cars, but they're not using cars to measure horses. Horsers. They're not using cars to measure a horse. The horse is in its own right. I'm sorry, man. You can compare a lot of things to a horse, but a car is not a horse.
Kody, if you came into my house, stole something from me, and we were in the Wild Wild West, I would run out of my house, hop on my horse, and come get you.
Okay.
Today, if you came to my house, stole some of my shit,
Yeah.
and you left my house, I would hop in my car and come and get you.
Okay. Well, today, or we'll say back then, I see you chasing me down in your horse, and
Yeah.
I beat the shit out of your horse with a bat and kill your horse. I will get the death penalty, not just for stealing some wooden pop that was made in 1840, right? But if I saw you again and you were in your car and I get out of my car and I beat down your car with my bat, I'm not going to jail. I'm not getting killed
you
for
are.
it. I'm not getting killed for it. And I likely am not going to jail for it.
You probably will go to jail
I
for
probably won't. I might get
No.
arrested for the time being.
That would be
but
a
I'm not
true
going to
crime.
spend much time there.
that. That would be a Dan and Kody true crime.
It's probably a true crime. You're done. No doubt about that.
So, new Ripple, because I didn't even think of that. The loving memory sticker could be that dead person's car.
It could be their horse.
That would make the most sense.
Unlikely. But very, very possible.
Very possible.
Okay.
Very.
Well, I'll keep that in mind, Dan. I want to tell you about a company called JC Room Blocks. Do you have 10 or more out-of-town guests coming to an event near you? Maybe you have a bris, a wedding, a family reunion, a science convention. Maybe some friends are coming in town and they just want to get drunk in one place. Or your mom's coming into town and she's got 10 brothers and sisters and they need a room so they can all come over to your house and have a bagel. Well, I have the answer for you. JC Room Blocks. They research hotels in the area that you need the rooms. So if you're in San Diego, they're going to find those rooms. They're going to put them together for you. Oh, what? You need to be in Boston for a little bit? No big deal. Go over to Boston and hang out with your Boston friends. You got 10 or 15 of them and you need a room? Fucking Boston. That's what you're going to do. Since they're certified travel agents, they can get you the lowest possible rates. On top of discounted rates, they can also negotiate highly discounted bridal suites, shuttle service, and food and beverage functions. If you mention the Dan and Kody podcast, that's us, they'll waive their fee. That means you don't pay anything, okay? Check them out, jcroomblocks.com. I'm going to repeat that, jcroomblocks.com. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter and Instagram. Follow them, check them out, get all them rooms.
Get all them rooms.
Get all them rooms. JC Room blocked it. Anyway, Dan,
Kody?
I think we're ready for this week's True Crime. All right, man, this is coming from me.
Lay it on me.
This is coming from me. I want you to take yourself to a situation.
Okay.
You're a woman.
Okay.
And you go into the birth doctor, and you say, Doc, I would like to be inseminated by an anonymous sperm donor.
Mm-hmm.
I want this person to be smart, brilliant, genius. I want to have a genius baby. right?
Why am I Trump?
This is just you, okay?
I'm Trump woman.
This is just you.
I want a genius.
I want a
baby.
genius baby. The baby's got to be a
It's
genius.
gotta be great.
So you do that. You go in. Doctor says, sure, no problem. We got a plethora of options for you. We'll get you inseminated out the door before you know you'll be popping out a baby. Zip, zip, zip. Years go by. You have this baby. Baby doesn't know who the father is. Not supposed to know who the father is.
Right.
Years go by. Baby grows up into an adult, and then the baby does the genetic test.
Yeah.
And the baby comes to find out that the father was the doctor.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yes.
Hit it again.
And as a matter of fact, that is becoming the case in many situations across America.
That's insane.
Absolutely insane, man.
Me and Jenny heard about this.
You did?
Before this week, yeah.
Oh, you did?
That's
okay.
nuts.
It's totally nuts. And the question is there have not been laws on the books for many states for this. So a lot of the time, these people try to press charges and claim, that it's a crime, that what they did, and it's not. Now, the state of California has sperm donor laws where the doctor cannot do the insemination. It does have to be somebody else. But there are some places where the law is now so extreme that they're claiming it as sexual, what do you call it?
Assault?
Sexual assault. And they have to register as sex offenders.
I'm surprised that it's not illegal to mislead someone while artificially inseminating them.
Well, mind you, a lot of this was taking place 30 years ago, too. So it's not so much modern day as it was then.
Or are the doctors just like being sort of aloof when they describe the person? They're like, "Oh, is this person tall?" It's like, "Yeah, it's kind of tall. It's got like brown hair, like mine."
I think he's a doctor.
Yeah, definitely a doctor.
Definitely a doctor.
He's got a lab jacket on right now.
Exactly.
Under his breath. I'll be back with your fresh semen.
Yeah, exactly. Just right off the presses. I got it shipped in from my donor bank. But that's the thing, is you go in there expecting that. Like, do you feel like it's wrong?
Yeah.
You do.
'Cause it's deception. It's misleading. I don't think it would be wrong if you didn't say it was someone else's. Like, if you didn't offer the attributes, then I don't think it's illegal.
You're going in to get pregnant.
Yes.
You want to have a baby.
Yes.
At this point, you're not terribly selective as to who your partner is.
I think you still are. Something about me, I think you still are. I think you still want that part of it. You want that because like you don't you're missing the whole sex part. Yes.
No, but it's not just the sex part.
But I think you still want to be able to tell this kid later, like,
right,
your father was, a basketball player.
You could make that up about anything.
Head of the
They
class.
have no way of checking. Nobody knows. It's anonymous for the most part.
Right.
You might have some basic information, but I could lie on a registration form. Nobody is testing to be like. I guess here's the other form of deception though too. I'm the sperm donor.
Mm-hmm.
I fill out the paperwork. I say I'm a big, rich finance stockbroker, worth millions, genius IQ, big old dick.
Does that help you, though?
Fat brain. And then the woman's like, you know what? I like this fat brain, big old dick finance man from New York.
Right.
I want him to be my father. Cool. 30 years go by. Kid comes through, tracks it back, comes to find out that guy lives in his mom's basement.
His dick wasn't big at all.
And he didn't have a big dick, and he had a really small brain. This is not, I can't believe that this is my father. I was misled. I was deceived.
Mm-hmm.
So why does it matter? What you don't know doesn't hurt you. Does it not?
It's it's disingenuous. Disingenuine.
Okay, it's disingenuine. Sure. If it's disingenuine, isn't being inseminated disingenuine?
No.
Okay.
Because you're signing up for it. I guess I don't know. I don't know much about like the process from the donor's perspective.
I don't either, to be
Like,
honest.
must you fill out a form stating what you
I don't know, but if you didn't, then why would it matter if you're getting sperm from this donor or getting sperm from your doctor? Here's the crazy thing. In Indianapolis, one of these doctors was charged with this, right?
Here's why. Sorry.
Okay.
It's because, why is it bad? It's because you are not providing information that you are privy to, that you clearly know. Like they're seeing you to be artificially inseminated, not by you, like specifically not by you. And
why is it specifically not by you if you don't know who the father is?
Because no one wants that. I feel no one coming in there wants to sit at the doctor's office. The whole thing is deceptive because you have the information that you are going to go in this room, jerk off, and put your semen in me. You know?
Okay.
Like, because of that, the whole thing is fucked. Because you should be divulging that information because you have it. Otherwise, the whole thing's a sham, just based on that.
The whole thing is a sham, man.
But not, and it's because it's a sham because of that, and because you're providing documents that say it's somebody else.
That validate somebody else. Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's fair. I mean, there's a doctor in Indianapolis who in the 70s and 80s, according to state prosecutors, based on 61 DNA testing, 61 people claim to be that this man is their biological father.
It's like Delivery Man.
Yeah, the guy retired in 2009. He pleaded guilty to 2 felony obstruction of justice charges and admitted that he had lied to state investigators. That's it. He had his license surrendered and was given a 1-year suspended sentence.
Why do you think
They weren't able to press charges for one simple reason. In Indiana, as in most states, there are no laws prohibiting this conduct.
Weird.
Yeah.
Why do you think he wanted to father all these children? Do you think it's a primal instinct to want to
Maybe he's bad
procreate?
maybe he's bad at handling other men's juices. And he's a fumbler. And he just fumbles and he drops it every time. And he's like, if he's doing this all the time, 61 times, and maybe he inseminates 400 women a year, right? Maybe that's a crazy number. But he inseminates 400 women a year, and over 30 years, 61, he may have dropped 61 vials and was like, I got to do something.
He clearly gets off on it.
You think so?
Yeah. And Jenny said that some people are like sexually aroused and like they have like an instinct to like champion, to like want to
spread their seed, spread their line, their lineage.
Yeah.
I mean, man's natural desire is to
Be
procreate.
Like, in the end, I'll have all of these children and their children and their children.
My blood moves onward.
Yeah, I don't care.
I care.
I don't care like that.
I care a little bit.
Like if
you want the end of your line to be you? Well, I mean, you have Moxie now. You don't have to worry about it.
I care, but I don't necessarily. I care in the sense that I want Moxie to experience a family. You know.
I think the reason I had a baby was a little more selfish in that I just want to keep it going.
Right. I mean, sure. I want to keep the Hill family going.
Right.
But I'm not changing professions and skeeting in a bunch of cups to get it done.
Not yet, but one day Dan's going to fill it out and he's going to make millions. He can go buy himself a tiny house and trade in his car for a horse.
I mean, like, it's weird. Like, in 2030, all these new podcasts started sprouting.
Oh, my God.
It's insane.
It's funny. It's really funny. Oh, life goes on, you guys. Keep it in your pants, unless you're a doctor. Take it out of your pants and give it to some girl.
And now it's time for this week's
What are we doing?
Champion of the Week.
Oh.
The champion of the week. Yeah.
Wow.
Here's the champ this week.
Who is it, man? Who's the strongest person that made it through the worst of the worst?
Rob Goddard.
Rob Goddard.
Goddard.
Rob Goddard.
Goddard.
Yeah, okay. Rob Goddard. Rob Goddard. Rob Goddard.
Goddard.
Is it the name? Is that why he's champion of the week?
Rob Goddard, champion of the week. Your name's cool. Bye. No. He shared a story on Facebook about McDonald's Big Macs. It's coming back. Continuation.
McDonald's Big Macs, huh? And what, did he
Yep.
probably hate on him?
Well,
Did he hate on him, Dan?
no, he didn't hate on him. He went to
Okay.
McDonald's since he was sick and didn't feel like cooking. Bro, if you're sick, don't go to McDonald's. You're not going to get better. And he ordered a Big Mac meal, and he headed home.
Okay.
He got home, and to his amazement, there was no burger. It was just the bread, the patties. It was just the bread, the sauce, the pickles, and the lettuce
Okay.
in there. He says, initially, I wanted to be upset as a paying customer and blame whoever it was that made the sandwich for such a stupid, silly mistake. However, as someone who has worked in the service industry for a long time, he couldn't help but laugh. It made him reflect on some of his worst days where he's made silly mistakes and had to stand silently while getting screamed at by an angry, middle-aged lady about how stupid and uneducated he must be.
Wow.
So instead, he went back to the McDonald's
Okay.
with the Mac, and he showed them and got it. And he got a corrected Big Mac,
Yes.
and they all had a big laugh about it at McDonald's. And
that's sweet.
he was happy to laugh with the staff and wait for the fresh one. And then he said, here's what I liked about it. He said, we as humans all make mistakes. And no matter how stupid or silly it may seem, it happens. Not every situation involving simple mistakes like leaving the burgers off the patty needs to be a hostile one and make an individual feel belittled. We've all forgotten to put the Big Mac on the Big Mac at some point. Be kind. That's what the man says.
Dude, for those of you listening right now, if you were to look at my face, you would see one solitary tear.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, man.
Rob Goddard.
Thanks, man. Sometimes we all forget the Big Mac on the Big Mac.
Yeah. Champion of the week. It's a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful story, man. It's a beautiful week. It's a beautiful world.
It's a beautiful life.
That's right. And we come to the end of our little ride, I think, for the week, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
We got we got a hotline going now.
Yeah, Dan's put together a hotline for people to call into.
Yeah, I've been posting about it incessantly on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. So
How many calls have we got, Dan?
we got 2 calls this week.
Did we really?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
I think we should play them out. We should leave the podcast and we'll just play the messages we received.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
At the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. We're gonna play those out, and the next week I got a lovely letter
Oh yeah.
with some beautiful advice on how to be a father from a longtime friend. Tom Landalus wrote this beautiful email.
But we want to do it justice.
We want to do it justice. We're going to talk about it next week.
Yeah.
So we just want you guys to have a wonderful week. Enjoy these beautiful calls that ended
That's
our
right.
week, and you guys be safe. Thanks for listening to the Dan and Kody podcast.
And I got one more segment, but we'll make it a Patreon exclusive. So
We'll make it a Patreon exclusive.
if you want to follow us on Patreon and contribute to the podcast, you're gonna get a little extra bonus.
Thank
holla.
you guys. Holla.
This is the Dan and Kody podcast hotline. Go ahead. Leave a message after the beep.
Oh my God, this is my first time calling a podcast. It's Christy, and I just want to say I love the Dan and Kody podcast. It brings me so much joy. I listen with all of my cats and my friends, and we come over on Wednesdays and we just listen, and then we smoke a little bit of meth. It is the best podcast. Never stop. Love you. Mwah.
Oh, Dan and Kody podcast. Big fan. You guys are good. Making me laugh on Saturdays. I work on Sundays, but Saturdays right before. And man, when you guys come on that air and I hear that sultry voice of Dan, I'm excited. And you boys keep me going on Sundays when I go to work and Saturdays when I listen. So good luck, guys, and stay the best.
Thanks for listening and laughing with the Dan and Kody podcast. Our email is danandcodypodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We are on Instagram Dan Kody Podcast. Check out our website, danandcody.com, and you can contribute to the podcast by going to patreon.com/Dan Kody Podcast.
Subscribe, bitch!
Everybody play themselves down to shit, bro.